Hi, I'm Tim Hungerford. Recently I did a webinar on remotely managing fraud during a crisis. I hope you'll enjoy it. Three possible frauds that are really out there. The essential fraud, just like we have essential workers, right? Well, we've got essential fraud, and I'll dive into these a little bit further. But then we've got a new fraud that occurs, and then we've got what I'll call fraud in quarantine. So if we go into essential fraud, it's an ongoing fraud that continues to find a way despite this crisis. It's the norm, and the perpetrators need to continue that fraud for their own essential needs, or the fear that it might be caught if that fraud isn't happening. It may also result in some sort of different process that they need to do to continue that fraud, which is where some of our later on tools will maybe potentially identify that. You might be expecting lower results, but you might significantly have results that are above what you're even anticipating or below what you're anticipating in this case. That might be a sign that something's still going on in the essential fraud. So the auditor's challenge is trying to identify that essential fraud despite the mixed results from the crisis activities that are going on. When we talk about new fraud, well, that's a fraud that may occur because of the crisis. So we got a new opportunity, changes to existing controls that all of a sudden give someone a capability that they did not have before, or you've got an old opportunity. So with new rationalizations or pressures, an existing control weakness that we all knew about, but no one utilized, no one was capable or deciding that they needed to use it, now take advantage of that control weakness that was out there. So the auditor needs to identify that control change that has occurred and also follow up on previously exposed segregation of duties or access weaknesses that you've seen before. So go through your reports, pull out those segregation of duties you've seen in the past, go follow through to see if they've been corrected or if there's been new weaknesses because of the crisis. Fraud in quarantine. Well, frauds that were going on but are now in, quote, lockdown because of the crisis. So it's a closed opportunity or a closed capability that's out there. Again, this might have some abnormal results. You might have some uncharacteristically more profitable results than you expected. Again, similar to essential fraud, the auditor's challenge is going to try to weed this out and identify that fraud in quarantine despite the mixed results of the crisis activities. So these are kind of the mindset we're going to have as we dive into some things.